Hello and a warm welcome for all of you joining us on YouTube and Barça TV Plus for this special broadcast directly from the Camp Nou, as today we will be witness of Ronald Araujo's renewal for Football Club Barcelona. It is of course a very special day indeed for all of us culés, seeing as Ronald Araujo and the club have reached an agreement to extend their relationship until 2026, and all of us Barça fans are eager to hear from the man of the hour and as well to see that deal get inked. Joining me on this very warm day is Robert van Eekhout. Of course, Robert, it is a warm day, but also a good day for all Barça fans, seeing as that key position in the defensive line will be secured for a few more years to come.
Definitely, Diego. You said it right. A warm welcome. It is very warm here at Camp Nou. A beautiful day at this beautiful stage that we've got right behind us. In just a few minutes, about a quarter of an hour, we'll see Ronald Araujo and President Joan Laporta step onto the pitch and sign that contract renewal. We'll hear from both of them as well in their speeches, and we'll be offering you as well a very special and exclusive interview with Ronald Araujo as well. Our colleague Marc Brau will be conducting that.
Yeah, we're going to be hearing from the man of the hour as well. We'll be conducting that interview in Spanish, but you'll be able to hear the translation in English. And of course, Robert, this announcement has already been made official. The club announced it at the beginning of the week and did so in a very special manner indeed. And again, it was good news for Barça fans because it was una noticia, a news bomb that we had been waiting for.
We had been waiting for it, much anticipated. Much had been said about it as well. Lots of rumours. When things drag out as long as this contract renewal did, there's always speculation. There's always people saying, well, he's got an offer from this club, an offer from that club. And from what we all understand, Ronald Araujo's will to stay here at Football Club Barcelona was the key to everything. He never thought about leaving. Today we sign it. Today it's official. And we celebrated, of course. You said we're securing the future. We did so with Pedri and Ansu Fati earlier on in the season. Now Ronald Araujo is the building block for the future of our defence.
That's it. The key pieces of this dream team, as they are dubbed, although some are not in their teenage years anymore.
No.
They're in their, well, getting to them.
Ronald Araujo's 23, for example. He's 23, exactly.
But of course, still a key piece to this squad that is building for the future as well. Robert, as I mentioned, it was earlier in the week that the announcement was made official, and it was done in a very special manner indeed. Why don't we take a look exactly at how Ronald Araujo himself announced his renewal for Football Club Barcelona. Let's take a look.
Força Barça.
Lo que pasa es que tengo que esperar, o sea, tú estate tranquilito, tengo que esperar.
Força Barça.
There it is, Força Barça, and the extension will run until 2026. However, we all hope, of course, if things go well, that will last for many more years to come.
Well, Xavi himself said it, that we have a defender here for at least 10 more years. Araujo Security Inc. That sounds very good, very original, of course, the way in which it was announced with the mate. He's a lover of mate, like most South American players are. We used to see it back in the day with the likes of Messi and Suarez as well, for example. Now Araujo taking over there. And yeah, with that mate recipient, let's call it, announcing that he will be here until 2026, same as Ansu Fati, I believe. No, sorry, same as Pedri. Ansu Fati's until 2027, and of course we're consolidating this group of young players, some of whom arrived in the winter as well, or last summer. I'm thinking of Eric Garcia, for example. I'm thinking of Ferran Torres. I'm thinking of the two renewals we've already talked about, Pedri and Ansu Fati. Some that may come or not, we won't speculate here, but we hope that everything gets done.
We can add Nico
exactly,
to that
we
list.
could add Nico as well to that list. So great news for Barca, and a very exciting future ahead of us.
Yeah, and of course it was, you mentioned it as well, Xavi rather, spoke about it several times in the press conference, talking about how important this contract renewal or extension, let's call it, of Ronald Araujo is, seeing as he is such a key figure to Barca's defense. And the stats really speak for themselves, don't they, Robert?
They do. Those stats speak for themselves. He's had an amazing season, only been out due to injury a couple of little times. Let's remember, I think it was, he actually broke his hand.
Right.
And he played through that. He came back in the Super Cup. So let's take a look at Ronald Araujo's stats for this season, because they are simply amazing. Araujo has played in a total of 39 games with 32 starts. He's played 2,935 minutes. That makes him the 6th player in the squad in terms of minutes played. He's scored 4 goals, 27 shots, 10 of them on target. His passing accuracy is 89%. He wins 75% of his tackles, and if we look into detail, tackles versus dribbles, 75% also. So he is a block in defense. He's total security for Barca. At the back there's lots to improve, of course, but it's a good starting point.
It definitely is. I mean, and the stats really speak for themselves with regards to his defensive fortitude, but also offensively, he's got a very good presence indeed. So far this season, scoring 4 goals.
4 goals, exactly. He's one of the keys to us being the leading team in headed goals in La Liga so far. A total of 16. 4 of them have come from him. I think there was one that wasn't a headed goal, the one against Atletico de Madrid, but still, he's a menace inside the box. I had the distance here. His average shot on target comes from 11 meters out from the goal. So that's basically the penalty spot. Yeah. He shoots from close range. He's a threat in aerial play. He's had a fantastic season so far. His carries that are at least 5 yards, he's got 141. That's probably where he still has to improve a little bit. It's been talked about. Piqué has 169, Eric has 202. So carrying the ball forward is something that is left down to the other centre-back most times.
Right.
But Araujo showing this season as well that he is very versatile in those defensive spots. He's played both as centre-back in both positions, right and left. He's played as right-back, and he even played 1 game as a left-back against Mallorca.
Wow.
So, played 6 games as a right-back, 1 as a left-back, 22 as a centre-back. He's played 14 times alongside Piqué, 6 times alongside Eric, twice alongside Clement Lenglet, and he's had massive performances this season.
He definitely has. Some of those goals were crucial, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on as well. But I just want to touch upon a point that you brought up, an area that head coach Xavi also let's say demanded, for lack of a better word, really demanded from him an improvement in that area that you mentioned of bringing the ball up, an area in which he has improved as well.
Definitely, and we heard from him recently in an interview with UEFA in which he talked about that. He addressed that issue. He said that when he arrived here, he was finding it very hard because he would receive the ball at high speed and have to make quick decisions, and then he'd make mistakes and go home and be frustrated with himself. But slowly, through perseverance, hard work, he managed to improve, and we have seen definitely strides in that sense. He's great at switching the ball from one side to the other. He can run forward with it. He normally looks for the secure pass rather than risking it. But yeah, obviously there's room to improve, but we have seen definitely strides of improvement.
And we're going to hear from head coach Xavi Hernandez in just a little bit, but I just want to touch upon one more fact, Robert, because these statistics show, as I mentioned, his defensive fortitude, also his offensive abilities, but perhaps what the statistics don't show is his character, how important he is in this dressing room, and already the leadership qualities that he has.
Definitely. Everyone speaks very highly of Ronald Araujo. You can feel with the way he behaves on the pitch, the way he's very vocal. He's not scared to speak up. When he comes to the media at the end of games, he's always very candid in his responses. He doesn't shy away from criticism either. I feel that he's a much respected professional, both by his teammates and his coaches, and also his fellow professionals, opponents as well.
Alike.
We talk about the areas of improvement in terms of bringing the ball out, but let's talk a little bit about how Araujo is so strong defensively. He wins most of his duels. He can jump up in the air if the ball goes over him. He can run back. His speed is amazing for such a big guy. He's 1.93 meters. That's about 6'3".
Yeah.
When he's in the duel, he normally manages to unbalance the opponent and take the ball away from him. He can do that in a clean manner, run away with the ball and then feed it to a teammate. But he's also capable of being a no-nonsense defender. When there's a doubt, just clear it out and we'll win it back later on.
And on that note, why don't we now have a listen to what Xavi had to say about Ronald Araujo.
Per nosaltres, que som ara a l'estaf i que jo sóc l'entrenador, és una garantia. I pel Barcelona, doncs, jo crec que té central per 10 anys o més. És un central de primer nivell, pocs centrals hi ha en el món del seu nivell de joc, està millorant molt en pilota també, que és el que exigim. Bé, jo crec que la clau ha sigut ell aquí. Ha sigut ell. Ell és feliç a Barcelona, amb la seva família, és una persona molt humil, molt directa, molt clara amb el missatge. És un exemple. La veritat que és un luxe entrenar a jugadors com Ronald Araujo i estic encantat amb ell, encantat.
Head coach Xavi Hernandez there, never shy, of course, of expressing his praises for the Uruguayan central defender, talking about his importance both on and off the pitch, as well as we're seeing some images here of Ronald Araujo and the team in the training session.
Yes, the other day when the contract renewal was made official, he went through the tunnel in which basically they all like smack each other on the head. And Araujo, yes, just a great presence in the dressing room. 23 years old, he feels like he's a veteran. It's only his third season in the first team.
We've got a few of those on the team now as well, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you think of like the likes of Frankie de Jong, we think of him as a veteran, and not really. I mean, he's still very young. Araujo has definitely had an interesting journey as a first-team player. He made his debut back in the 2019-2020 season, and if you remember that, we'll talk about it later. He had a bittersweet debut because he got sent off that day. Last season, he became a full-time first-team player. He became important to the team, but was only 12th in terms of minutes played. This season, he's just become a fixture in Xavi's lineups, be it alongside Gerard Piqué, be it alongside Eric Garcia.
That's right.
He's very tough. He plays through pain, as we saw, as I said before, with that hand injury coming back in the Supercopa. And he's just become very reliable. I think Xavi finds him very interesting to work with because of obviously the ways to improve him in his ball distribution skills, but he also knows that he's a reliable player at the back, that he's a responsible player. He talks about his humility as well. He's a very humble player. And just a great presence to have around in the dressing room.
Absolutely, and of course he's so quickly endeared to all of our hearts. He's truly a fan favorite, and he did so in the record time as well, because as some of the viewers might have the perception that this is a player that was brought up in the Masia ranks. It was actually the summer of 2018 when he was brought over from Club Atlético Boston River from Uruguay to the B team. He was originally, of course, signing for the B team, and he landed and instantly basically had an impact.
Landed on his feet, square. Ronald Araujo arrived in the summer of 2018. As you said, there were several other clubs going behind him, some of whom we compete with in the domestic league. He came for a low fee, of course. And you talk about cost to level of performance ratio, probably one of the best signings over the last 10 years, because obviously he's become such an important player now in defense, and you think for how much we brought him. We were talking about his impact on the B team. He scored 6 goals in 2 seasons there. In his second season, he already started training with the first team and started playing less and less, even though he did go to the playoff for promotion when that was, what was it, last season or the season before? I can't remember. But he just showed his commitment to the team. He's a threat inside the box. Second season, he became a captain in this B team. Yeah, incredible. And a stat that really was or stood out to me was the fact that he played 22 games in his very first season as well. In fact, playing the full 90 minutes of those 20 games as well. Again, just showing how quickly adapted to the team, but also how important he was right from the get-go. Definitely. I think he's a player who, through hard work, through perseverance, earns the trust of his coaches. He talked about those struggles he had at the beginning with the Barca style, the particular Barca philosophy. And as I say, through hard work and perseverance, he convinced his then coach, then with Valverde and Setien and Ronald Koeman as well, and now with Xavi Hernandez. He's earned his opportunities, and every team he's played for, he's become a starting fixture. Well, why don't we rewind the clock back to 2018 and that day that he was presented over at the Barca offices to the fans, and hear from Ronald Araujo on that day where he became officially a Barca player when he was still wearing braces as well. Let's take a listen.
Y nada, vengo con muchas expectativas de poder crecer en lo personal, también a aportar todo lo que he aprendido y seguir aprendiendo acá en este club, que la verdad que es hermoso. Para mí siempre de chiquito uno sueña con estar en los equipos más grandes de Europa y me ha tocado, la verdad que me ha sorprendido y muy contento y dar todo para poder llegar al primer equipo y poder cumplir con todas las expectativas que el club tiene conmigo.
Well, a very confident and well-spoken young man, talking about how he's eager to not just learn from this beautiful club, but also apply what he has learned himself over the years.
Definitely, definitely. Obviously, he came in here knowing that it was a big opportunity for him, and he's taken advantage of him. We heard in a recent interview as well, the one that I was quoting before, how important Luis Suarez was for him, for example. When he arrived, he said they texted daily. Suarez was more or less not telling him what to do, but obviously encouraging him to keep working hard. You'll get there, you'll get there, you'll get there. At that time, Araujo was playing for the under-20s in Uruguay.
Yeah.
Now he's already made his debut and will get his first World Cup if everything goes well this December. But yeah, the importance of Luis Suarez, who he said he still texts with every now and again when he has a good performance or a bad performance. They speak after the game.
Okay.
I feel that's very positive as well.
Yeah, sure.
You always want to get advice from the legends.
Yeah, exactly. Getting some constructive feedback from a legend, Barca legend, of course, the likes of Luis Suarez is always well received. And in an interview as well, he spoke about how in that first game that he ever sat in the Barca stands, he was watching Luis Suarez play, listening to the crowd chant Uruguayo, Uruguayo, and he was dreaming of maybe one day that him being in that position.
Well, he's already had it, hasn't he? He's already had it. I remember this season when he scored the equaliser here on a Monday night at Camp Nou, a tough game for Barca, but he scored in the 89th minute, coming into the box, a header, first goal of the season, the passionate celebration that Ronald Araujo had, and the fans responded to that. He's become a fan favourite very quickly because of his hustle, because of his power, because of his commitment. He reminds me in that sense the likes of Carles Puyol and Javier Mascherano, for example, who weren't exactly finesse players, but because of everything else they brought to the team, the fans relate to them.
Yeah. They're bringing that grit and grind to this team that is also needed, of course. I think the comparisons with Puyol and Masche are very accurate indeed, because he does bring that little extra spice and grit and grind, as I mentioned it before, to this team, which is also needed. And we already talked about the fact how quickly he became an important part of this dressing room as well, an important voice as well within the dressing room. And perhaps that really stood out the day when Ansu Fati returned to the team and scored that goal, when he hoisted the youngster into the air and was really sort of a pillar for the structure of young Barca players that was being constructed at the time.
Definitely. I mean, I think we were all very happy for Ansu Fati after all the struggles that he'd had. You saw the joy in the whole team. But Ronald Araujo, I think he came on at the same time as Ansu Fati in that game, and he had a special role in that celebration. He was the one who hoisted him up. And I remember he posted on Instagram as well, just feeling so much joy for his teammates. He's one of those who you feel wants to get everyone involved, wants to have everyone participate, wants to have everyone in good spirits. And I've said it time and time again here, a great presence in the dressing room. There was another thing that I wanted to bring up as well, because we talked about Suarez and we talked about Araujo's goal scoring. He started out as a goal scorer in Uruguay. Growing up, he played either as an attacking midfielder, as a striker. He then had a coach who told him, you might be able to succeed, but I don't really see it. Let's move you back to the back, because obviously Araujo was getting big and strong, and that's where his career went upwards.
But you see it as well with, other defenders, the likes of Gerard Piqué. They don't lose that knack for the goal, right? That taste for the goal. 4 goals so far this season, and we have already been seeing some images as well where he knows how to put himself in the position at the right time as well. Also being sought out by his players in crucial moments where we need that extra goal to get over the hump.
And we've seen it in tight games as well here at Camp Nou. The latest example, of course, is that painful defeat we had against Rayo Vallecano last weekend. But in the final minutes, he headed into the box. He is a threat to defenders. Barca have quality players who can put crosses in and find Araujo. It worked against Granada, for example. And we've seen it time and time again, and he's created some dangerous opportunities. I'm remembering off the top of my head here now, but I think it was the game against Galatasaray as well. Towards the end, Araujo was inside the box creating opportunities. Against Eintracht as well, he had a header which almost hit the target. So yeah, that's something that both him and Gerard Piqué love to do, and it's a resource that Xavi has, of course, towards the end of the game if things aren't going our way.
Well, we're still waiting for the man of the hour to touch down on Camp Nou.
He's got all of his family here.
He's got the support of his family as well. Yeah, we're going to go over some more crucial and important moments in his career. But
by the way, I did want to mention what a big year, of course, it has been for Ronald Araujo.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of the important role he's had in the team, the goals he's scored, the key moments he's taken part of. He was crucial at the Bernabeu, for example.
Yes.
But also the birth of his daughter Aitana. So that happened at the beginning of the season, and it doesn't seem to have affected him in terms of like, well, I'm not sleeping, I'm out of energy. No, that's not the case with Ronald Araujo. Big moment for him, of course.
Yeah, exactly. He's leaving the rest of us parents with poor excuses if we ever show up to work tired because of our kids. In this case, luckily that is not the case. And also Xavi talked about how important that is, of course, the family element, the fact that he has a child that is not born. Exactly, having structure at a very young age, 23 years old. Robert, I don't know if
when I was 23, it never crossed my mind. But I mean, to each one his own. We are waiting here at Camp Nou for Ronald Araujo and President Joan Laporta to come onto the field, give their speeches, sign that renewal of the contract. That will happen in just a few minutes. We saw how his family members are gathering on the bench. We will then hear from Araujo in a very special and exclusive interview here right next to us with our colleague Mar Brau.
That's it, exactly, Robert. And we talked about as well the fact that, we're going to go over some more crucial and important moments of his career as well so far with the first team and the B team as well. But I wanted to ask you something, Robert, for viewers as well, that maybe when we draw comparisons and parallels to defenders, particularly the ones that are on the squad right now, when we talk about Eddie Garcia and we talk about his ability and his excellence in terms of bringing the ball up, how is this an area where he has improved in? I mean, what is it that Xavi will be telling him on the training grounds to look out for?
Araujo, you're talking.
Correct. Yes,
Araujo,
yes. Comparing him with
Eddie. Obviously, I mean, it's something that he's admitted himself that he's struggling, and I think sometimes we've seen it in games. Xavi just says, keep calm, use your head. Sometimes when Barca have had the ball in it, there's no clear option. Sometimes you'll see him tend to look for that straight long ball to solve the problem in a minute. And what Xavi's asking him to do is have patience, play the short pass, then they'll give it back to you, then you'll give it to the other side, and we'll move them around, and we'll find the open space eventually. Don't try and rush it, don't try and get the job done in just 2 seconds.
Okay, so it's sort of maybe adopting or having the mentality more of a midfielder, can we say?
Yeah, that's what we look for in our goalkeepers and our defenders as well. You think of Gerard Piqué and Eddie Garcia, excellent ball distribution skills, and Araujo is getting there as well. The thing is, it's the Cruyff philosophy, isn't it? If you have the ball, the opponent won't be able to score. So the objective here with Xavi Hernandez is to keep the ball for as long as possible. If that means instead of playing a long ball, which might be successful, you might find the run of Ferran Torres, you might find the run of Ousmane Dembélé, you might find the run of Aubameyang. But odds are it will go either too long, too short, it could be cleared by the defense, and then you have to start all over again. If you have the possession, play it short to your right back, play it short to your fellow centre back, play it short to your defending midfielder. Maybe play the through ball inside. If the team's all together, that's all easier, of course, and that's where, well, work in progress is happening.
And he of course also has shown his ability to adapt to the different partners that he's had to team up with, as Robert mentioned as well, the different positions that he's had to play in, basically going across the entire defensive line, from right back, even left back, as you mentioned, as well as the two central positions in the central defense. Is there a partner that you say is your favorite for Ronald Araujo in that position?
Not really, because we've seen good things happen either way. I mean, I'm going to admit now, the first time we ever saw him play as right back, I thought, ooh, this is difficult, because obviously our other right backs, our other options are usually either Dani Alves or Serginho Dest. They're just completely different players in terms of physical condition to Araujo. They're smaller and quicker players, but he's proved that he can be a guarantee in that spot as well, as we see him right now walk out of the tunnel, accompanied by President Joan Laporta, Vice President Rafael Yuste, all of his family members rumours there as well. A very special moment today. Araujo signing the renewal of his contract until 2026 with a buyout clause of 1 billion euros. Keeping him here for the foreseeable future.
That's it. Looking dapper as always, greeting the family, as are the board of the directors. Of course, it is a great day for the Araujo family, as well as for the Barça family, to secure this central defender for a few more years to come, and hopefully for many more. We can add many more years to that, as well as at this point in time, both Joan Laporta, club president, and Ronald Araujo will walk to the middle of the pitch, where they will
have a podium there.
A little podium where they will sign a contract. As you can hear, some of the chants. This is a closed-door ceremony, but a few lucky fans that partook in the tour, I think, of the museum, are able to witness Barça history take place, as we now hear also the Barça anthem being played in the background. Let's take
definitely a few lucky fans there, and the special moment for Ronald Araujo and President Joan Laporta, who are going to pose for pictures first, and then go ahead and sign the renewal of the contract.
And maybe make some statements as well?
And make some, we'll hear them make some statements as well, of course. As we said, a very special day. You think about the renewals of contracts that have happened this season. This one happens in the line of defense. There's one in midfield with Pedri, and one in the line of attack with Ansu Fati. So, yeah. I mean, I'd say our future's looking bright.
It is looking good indeed. Of course, we're still hoping and waiting for a few more to be secured as well, to add to this very solid and strong structure that is being built for the Barça first team squad. I'm not sure if our listeners can hear the words being spoken by our colleague, or if we should help translate.
Well, at the moment, what's going to happen is that both the President Joan Laporta and Ronald Araujo are going to head over and sign the papers which link the Uruguayan defender, 23 years of age, born in 1999. They're going to link him to the club until 2026.
This feels good.
4 years from now.
This truly feels good. There were some scary moments there. Of course, negotiations are
I'm
always...
never scared.
Never scared?
No. I think there's a tendency now of over-analyzing these deals. Include a lot of things. There's I'm making this up, but there's bonuses. There's length of the contract. There's the buyout clause fee. It all needs to be negotiated. It all happens in the end. And what was key is that we always heard that the player wanted to stay at the club. And there is the hug after the signing of the contract. The applause, first of all, by President Joan Laporta and all of the rest of the people here at Camp Nou for Ronald Araujo, a Barca player at least until 2026. And we're now going to see Araujo sign this little creativity, this poster right behind him, as we usually see.
And these continue to be put up for auction for a good cause. Is that correct?
I believe so.
With the new signings,
I can't confirm 100%, but yeah, that seems like a nice idea if that is what happens to those. And we are now, in just a few seconds, going to hear from Araujo and Joan Laporta. They're going to pose for some pictures first with the Barca jersey. Araujo, the 179th player to make his debut, coming from the youth teams for Football Club Barcelona, an illustrious club. There, of course, we were talking about this before. Araujo played 2 seasons at Barça B after his signing in 2018, became an important player in our B team, and his opportunities with first with Ernesto Valverde, then
Valverde, correct.
Koeman, and now Xavi Hernandez.
Which on that day was an unfortunate debut, Robert, as you mentioned, seeing as he did pick up a red card rather in a tackle on Chicharito on a day where also he replaced Todibo, who made his debut in front of the Camp Nou audience. Not his official debut, but a debut in the Camp Nou as well, before Ronald Araujo finally stepped onto the Camp Nou pitch for 14 minutes. And here we are 4 years later. as he's now being made official socio, a member of the club.
Exactly, yes.
So he can tune in to Barça TV Plus.
Yes.
To see all of the Barça content.
He can vote in the next election.
And vote in the next elections, correct.
Araujo, a much-liked player by fans.
Yeah, we would have imagined that had this been open doors, Robert, that the stands would have, of course, been filled with fans.
We're going to hear from them right now.
Day.
Joan Laporta and Ronald Araujo.
Sí, primer, paraules d'agraïment.
Firstly, I want to give words of gratitude to Ronald Araujo.
Amb ell és una incorporació que estem
With him, it was a signing
davant d'una persona que ens dona present
of a person
i també
that's very present in this immediate present, but also to consolidate our project in the short and long term.
doncs, el meu agraïment a ell
And so we want to give our words of gratitude to him personally, because he's a player that we've had great benefit from already. He's a great young talent.
també incorporem, doncs, a part de present i
And also we include him
mig i llarg termini,
not just
construint el projecte esportiu,
in the present and the
i compromís.
mid to long-term future. We've got character and dedication, and so we're very grateful to him from everyone at Barca. We also want to say thanks to your family who have come all the way from Uruguay. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Un hijo extraordinario,
You've got an extraordinary son who's a very talented footballer, but he's especially a person that's won the heart of everybody for his personality and his dedication.
hermanos también.
So I want to say thanks to your parents, his brothers and sisters, and welcome you to Barcelona,
Educado como lo habéis educado,
and say thank you for bringing him up the way you've brought him up,
de este tipo de jugadores que nos
because he's the type of player that we like to have at Barca.
dan compromiso aparte del
Personality, dedication, and just a great talent.
és una incorporació que va en la línia
Also,
que
he's a signing that continues along the lines
un projecte esportiu
of reconstructing this winning sporting project.
sigui continuat en el temps, no?
We want to continue
Araujo té present,
reaching high in these times,
generació
and that's something that Araujo has in his head,
Nico,
with counting on Araujo, Pedri, Nico,
el Ferran Torres,
Ferran Torres,
evidentment l'Ansu Fati.
obviously Ansu Fati.
Esperamos
We hope that now
tengamos ya una buena noticia con
we'll
Gavi,
get some good news as well from Gavi, your teammate. We're working on that.
que tiene su proceso.
Every story has its
Pero
process.
sobre todo insistir en
But especially, I want to
el
insist
caràcter que té el Ronald,
that the character Ronald has
les ganes que ell ha tingut de
and the enthusiasm that he brings to Barca
moltíssim per
is so important for the club in these
Ja li
moments.
he dit a l'hora de signar que això ho tindrem sempre.
And I've already said it.
Aquestes
when we
ganes,
signed,
aquest entusiasme que té
Keep it present, this enthusiasm, this
triomfar encara més en el Barça. Perquè
desire to triumph in Barca. You are triumphing in Barca.
ara el que hem de
Playing in Barca is to triumph.
per classificar-nos per la
And
Champions,
now we need to work forward
segur que vindran.
on qualifying for the Champions League and fighting for more titles in the future. Congratulations.
Gràcies, president.
He says, thank you very much.
Ara volem escoltar-te tu, Ronald.
Now we'll hear some words from
Sensacions
Ronald Araujo,
després de signar aquesta renovació.
his first feelings after signing this contract renewal. And says thanks to the fans.
Bueno, la verdad que es una felicidad enorme.
A great happiness to be in this club, the best team in the world.
Es una felicidad, como digo. Quiero agradecer primeramente
It's
a Dios por esta
Happiness for that, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. To be here is tremendous.
desde un principio a
My family have supported me from the very start, my parents, my wife.
pasamos por muchas cosas y
We've been through a lot.
lograr esto es muy importante para nosotros. Agradecer
Crying for this.
al club, a ustedes.
This is also important for us. This is why I'm crying.
Desde el
The
principio cuando llegué,
support from yourself, from the club, is so important.
a todo el cuerpo técnico que estuvo,
I'm so happy with all the technical staff
que apostaron en mí.
for the
Llegué
support they give me, the
un estilo diferente, una manera de jugar diferente.
help they give me
Al principio costó, pero con
to
mucho trabajo,
getting into this style, this way of playing, which was difficult for me at first.
firmando
And so,
un contrato con el primer equipo,
so proud to be here, to be signing a contract with the first team.
compañeros que siempre me están
So
apoyando
grateful
y
to all my teammates because They're always supporting me. I'm very happy to be in the best club in the world.
Gràcies, Ronald. Aquestes llàgrimes d'emoció,
Says thank you.
no? Aquest camí llarg,
These
que
tears
també demostra que els somnis es
of emotion. She says just show the path you've been down.
Trabajamos mucho para estar acá,
He says we work so hard to be here.
primeramente Europa y después me dicen que tengo que venir a Barcelona, sabe la
I
felicidad que
wanted to
tenía.
come to Europe, wanted to come to Barcelona, so you can't imagine the happiness that I feel being here in this first team.
Importante como me siento, la verdad que es
It's the most important thing.
mucho trabajo y es una
I
felicidad, ¿no?
enjoy my work so much and I'm so happy to be here, to continue here.
Siempre tuve claro que mi lugar es acá,
I
estar acá muchos años.
always had it clear that I'd be here for many years.
Con lo que se está haciendo,
I believe a lot in this club, in this project, everything we're working towards, in the young players we've got,
que vamos a levantarnos y vamos a ganar muchos títulos acá.
and that we're going to lift many titles.
Ronald, què podem esperar del Ronald Araujo en aquests propers anys?
What can we expect from Ronald Araujo these upcoming years?
El compromiso y el trabajo,
His first dedication
para mí no es
and
negocio.
work. For me, there's no negotiating that. I always got to give 100%.
Y nada, saben que pueden contar conmigo en todo momento.
You can all count on me in every moment, in any situation.
Sé que aporto mucho para el equipo también.
I know I
Y eso es muy
bring a lot to the team as well.
acogido,
And that's
muy a gusto.
very important because I feel so welcomed and comfortable here.
Que podamos ganar muchos títulos, lo que
I hope we can win a lot of titles that we've got ahead of us.
President, ja ho deia, el Ronald és present i és futur, sobretot.
Says that
Quin missatge li donaria
President said, Ronald is the president in the future. What's the message of the future that we're building here in Barca with players like Ronald Araujo?
El projecte esportiu l'estem consolidant.
The sporting project is something we're consolidating on now.
Però persones com el Ronald Araujo
We're working with people like Ronald Araujo who help us
a poder-ho fer.
to have faith.
És caràcter, és compromís.
His character, his dedication, commitment. This is all good.
Saps que ets correspost, perquè tot el
These
que
things
tu dones al camp, que
relate.
és espectacular, és impressionant.
It's everything that
Tots som
you bring to the
conscients de que
football
el públic
field.
et correspon, perquè el públic t'estima aquí.
We're
T'estimem.
all very grateful for what that means, but the public here love you here.
Caràcter, que tens compromís, que tens
That you've
talent,
got character, commitment,
que
talent,
has a ser un
and
dels
that you've
eixos,
been
o dels jugadors
brought
més
up
importants de la propera
to be one of these,
dècada del Barça.
hopefully, one of the most important players of the decade for Barca.
La veritat és que ens fa molt feliç un dia com avui,
And so,
perquè
a day like today makes us very happy
consolidació d'un
because this is the
projecte
consolidation of a
que
project
està
that's
acabant de construir, que segurament doncs,
being built,
anirem millorant-lo a mesura
We'll
que vagi
keep
passant el temps.
going to improve it as the time goes on. But we've now put down some very good bases.
Migcampistes com
A centre-back like Araujo, midfielders like Pedri, Nico, Gavi, the professionals, but the young professionals that we've got here at home.
Davant, com l'Ansu Fati, que també ve de casa,
And then
el Ferran Torres.
forwards like Ansu Fati, who's from here, Ferran Torres, young players that fit in well here with a lot of personality, and they're going to grow up marking a decade for Barca, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely splendid. I'm so proud to be president in moments like this, bringing in a person with a lot of promise
I això, quan una persona té agraïment, Ronald,
and someone that's very grateful. And this is something, Ronald, when someone's grateful, it means so much. And I want you to know that the gratitude is mutual.
Fa goig, president, que molts d'aquests noms que deia no, portin aquest segell de la Masia, no?
It's a lot of names you've said from the Masia.
que és un dels
Of course.
bases del club.
It's the basis of this club. We're talking about
jugar a futbol, que ell mateix
a
deia que s'ha
footballing
hagut d'adaptar.
style. There's something that he's been able to bring out and learn and adapt to, because coming from Uruguay is a different style.
Crec que és
But I think
internacional,
character is something that's
conegut i està demostrat que
international. It's something that's worked.
i això ja fa més fàcil el poder-se
It's
adaptar.
something that takes you a long while, and
Però que el nostre
it's something that can help you adapt to a different style of
I la veritat
gameplay.
és que això seria un de les bases. Però és
This
que
is
aquest
one of the
sistema
basic
s'ensenya
things,
sobretot també a la
because
Masia.
these strategies are things that are taught, especially in the Masia.
Passat per la Masia, ja
These
tenen-
young
ja-
guys that have
respecte per
come through the
la
Masia, they've got respect for the
els
institution,
automatismes que es necessiten per interpretar bé
but
aquest
they've also got the
sistema genuí
skills
de
to be
jugar a
able
futbol.
to interpret this strategy of playing football.
Acaba d'arribar, fa 4 anys ja que està
Speaking with him,
perfectament el català.
it's been 4 years since he came here. He knows Catalan, he knows the club well, he's gotten used to
Igual que ell se sent
the
respectat. I després ve
customs of this culture, the language,
social molt important.
and the
Forma part
commitment
també del-
is also something very important,
els nostres fonaments.
which is one of our
Jo sé que l'Araujo pel caràcter
founding pillars, and I know that Araujo is the kind of person as well that
en fi, que li agrada,
is so enthusiastic and he likes to have that.
Els dos, amb això tancarem els parlaments. Acabarem amb una darrera... amb un
Well,
obsequi.
that brings
President.
a close to the
Val
speeches.
Ronald? Sí. I així tancarem aquesta
Something here
presentació.
from the president
Una
to
fotografia
Ronald, which will end this presentation. I will have a picture
Words there of the man of the hour, Ronald
aquest
Araujo,
dibuix
but
pel
also
record
club president Joan
d'aquest dia.
Laporta, and you absolutely love to see that. Tears of joy literally coming down the cheeks of Ronald Araujo, as well as club president Joan Laporta. Very emotional in his speech as well, talking about the commitment, the sacrifice that Ronald Araujo made to sign for the club in very difficult circumstances, Robert. Let's not forget as well, as Laporta mentioned, that these are difficult times for Barça. So the commitment and sacrifice shown on both of these parties is just commendable.
Just goes to show what we were talking about before. He never wanted to leave.
Yeah.
He knows his future is here. He's grateful for the opportunity that was given to him. He sees potential in this team's future, and obviously I agree, Diego. The tears of joy there are joy for everyone. You love to see the emotion. This is a very special day for Ronald Araujo. We'll be hearing from him in just a few minutes here in an interview conducted by our colleague Marc Brau for Barca TV. You'll have live English translation for that as well, and obviously the words there of Araujo and Joan Laporta talking about the present of this team, because Araujo is part of the present of this team, but also the future. And it's a
Exactly.
very bright future with all of those players that Joan Laporta talked about.
No doubt about that, Robert. And in case you're just tuning in, today is a good day for all culés and club, as well as Ronald Araujo has extended his contract with Fútbol Club Barcelona for a few more years until 2026. And literally tears of joy were rolling down the cheek of the Uruguayan central defender. And in our case, they're not tears, but they could very well be. They're sweat as the sun is beaming down on us, Robert.
Delightful day here at Barcelona.
It's a beautiful day.
If this was the beach, we'd be very happy. But no, obviously great to be here at Camp Nou, always on such a joyous occasion, such as the renewal of an important player like Ronald Araujo. Family pictures there for him now to just commemorate this moment for him.
Such a good day, and he talked about Robert as well about, of course, how this was not necessarily an easy process. It's been 4 years of a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of hard work has been going through this entire process to get to the first team, to now finally sign that contract extension, where he needed time to adapt as well. It wasn't smooth sailing from the get-go.
Definitely, and it's been gradual as he's been brought into the first team. He played 6 games in his first season when he was combining Barca B and first team. Then he played a total of 33 games last season, 39 so far this year. So more and more minutes for Ronald Araujo as time goes by. He's a solid defender, which is going to help, obviously, in the present and in the future. We were talking about the struggles as well, and you can talk about the struggles of the team as well. One of the things that I like about the current situation, or it's not that I like it, but it's a positive that you can extract, is that they're going through defeat. They're going through their struggles. They're going through mistakes.
Yes.
And that always...
That's a great point.
They always say that champion teams usually come from a painful defeat, or have usually experienced defeat before. Builds a fire in them, and the fire is being lit inside of these young players. You can see it in the likes of Araujo, in the likes of Gavi, for example.
Yeah.
They're not liking what they're experiencing right now.
Exactly.
So it will be more likely that they won't make the same mistakes going forward.
Yeah, of course, and the wins will be all the more sweet going through these pains and struggles as well. It will build fire within this team, the motivation needed to reach reconquer those titles that we, of course, all want to be celebrating as well around these dates. But it's good as well, like you mentioned, just to add to that point, Robert, because it allows players not to be, can we use the word spoiled, for lack of a better word, too soon, too quickly. Maybe these the hard knock road is the way to go for the team to have the right motivation to conquer those titles.
Obviously, if we were to pave an ideal road for every player in his career, he would want to experience success throughout.
From the
you think about, for example, the likes of, I don't know, Leo Messi, for example. He experienced success
down thanks to him.
Exactly.
Of course.
I mean, success throughout the whole of his career, but that's very rare. That's very rare. And this team has a group of young players right now, a young nucleus. We call them the Dream Team, and obviously there are going to be some things that they're going to have to improve. They're going to have to learn through experience, through going through some tough games, through some defeats, and we've seen that happen. But we've seen some bright signs as well of things that have happened.
Very much
so far.
Under
about
Xavi.
A month ago, for example, that win at the Santiago Bernabeu. Who would have said that the experienced team was the one losing and the young and up-and-coming team was the one that beat them 4-0?
Correct. And we can add to that list, of course, other epic wins against the likes of still current league champions Atlético de Madrid, Athletic Club as well, Napoli, advancing in the Europa League against Galatasaray. We had some very good moments, as we are now seeing images here of that deal being inked by Ronald Araujo, as well as the customary signing of that poster, which at least with the arrival of new players, I know that these get put up for auction and the benefits go to a charity. So imagine this will be the case as well. And moments of joy there for Ronald Araujo as well as his family.
This was, of course, a few minutes ago prior to the speeches. Right now, the player and members of the board of directors posing with a Barca shirt on the pitch. You can see in the distance there, President Joan Laporta, Rafa Yuste, Mateo Alemany posing with Ronald Araujo.
Should we take a look at some of the images, maybe of
his first team career?
First team clip?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
When we take a look at some of the images of his debut with the first team, it was against Sevilla when Ernesto Valverde was still the head coach of Fútbol Club Barcelona. He came on in the 71st minute, replacing Todibo. And it was, well, as you mentioned, Robert, not maybe the dream start for Ronald Araujo with the first team, but certainly an interesting anecdote.
You can see his smile there, but as you said, he had to leave the pitch early, sent off in the 87th minute. Ronald Araujo in that game in which Barca won 4-0 against Sevilla. His first goal came against Valencia, a spectacular volley, if you remember it. It was in a 2-2 draw in last season's game at home against the Cheers. A great goal by Ronald Araujo.
You mentioned it was a bittersweet moment for him as the team didn't manage to pick up the win, but he did manage to score his first goal.
And he's making his way towards the Barca TV set while we continue to view images. This was the day he scored that equaliser against Granada. And we were saying before, he's become a fan favourite very quickly, always taking the time as well to pose for pictures. We see it when the team arrives at the different hotels where they travel to throughout the season. And Araujo there posing for some pictures in that day in which he scored against Granada.
Another vital goal that he scored, of course, was in the Clásico.
At the Santiago Bernabeu, the day which he played as a right back against Vinicius. He was up for the challenge and even contributed with a goal. Ronald Araujo with another fantastic performance there. And yes, I mean, just keeps on building on moments. He's right next to us right now on the other set, getting ready for the interview with our colleague Manuel.
Nicely in the shade.
Nicely in the shade, yes. We'll go there in just a second when they're ready. But yeah, just obviously to sum it up, a solid player at the young age of 23. He's present and he's future for Barca.
Exactly. We talk so much about his defensive abilities, but so far with the first team, since his arrival at the first team, 6 goals scored, 4 headers. 4 of those were headers.
Yes, exactly. That's where one of the areas in which he can impact. defensively as well with defensive clearance. When crosses get put into Barca's box, he can clear the ball away. He's dominant up at the top, as is Gerard Piqué. And this season, making some key contributions with 4 goals. And as I said before, contributing to Barca being one of the teams with the most headed goals in La Liga so far.
Now, can you that have a photographic memory pretty much of Barca's history, I think, if I'm not mistaken, not to put you on the spot there, Robert, but the defender with the most goals scored in Barca's history is still Ronald Koeman.
Yes, but there's a little bit of a cheat there, of course, because Ronald Koeman used to take free kicks and penalties, especially. So, Koeman's,
but do you think he could be on his way to maybe be up there in the top 3?
Well, top 3 maybe. Top 3 maybe. Obviously, he's shown that he's a big presence inside the box. Every time there's a set piece, you've got the threat of Araujo in there, be it to head the ball first or to pick up the scraps like he did against Atletico de Madrid. Obviously, Koeman is probably out of reach for him because of what I said, that he used to take penalties and free kicks. But I'm sure he could have a similar scoring record as the one Gerard Piqué has, for example.
Right. Also, Gerard Piqué is somebody that is not just good with his head, but in aerial abilities, but also with his feet, like Ronald Araujo, as he showed in that volley that he scored.
Definitely. And a good mentor for Ronald Araujo. I'm sure that as the years go by, and obviously because of age, Piqué, whenever Piqué retires, Araujo will always have kind memories of having played alongside one of the best centre-backs to ever play the game.
I believe that slowly but surely the interview is about to take place between our colleague Marc Brau and Ronald Araujo, which of course will be translated for all of you here watching live on Barça TV Plus as well as YouTube. So don't go away, because we are about to hear personally from the man of the hour as he will talk to the Barça TV Plus microphones. A great day it is for the entire Barça family, as it is for the Araujo family, who of course have joined him, the ones that are living here, and as well as family from Araujo. Let's now have a listen to the man of the hour, Ronald Araujo.
Perquè ha renovat el seu contracte fins al 2026. Ronald, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas.
Hello, Ronald.
También que no tienes problema en hablar antes, después de los partidos, pero claro, no sé qué.
We know you've got no problem speaking before and after matches, but how does it feel being here on this pitch when there's no match? It's a very happy day. I'm very happy to be here.
Es una felicidad enorme.
It's a massive happiness to be here, to be able to renew with this club, the best club in the world, like I always say.
Acompañado por tu familia. Cuéntanos quién ha venido, porque hemos visto ahí mucha gente con la que te has querido hacer fotos.
Asking about all the people that are here with him. My dad's here from Uruguay. Me, mum and dad, my 2 brothers, my wife and my daughter, some friends from there and here. Pleasure to be here with you. I've not got a lot of family, but I've got a lot of friends, and it's great to have them all here.
Te emociones, Ronald, pero nos has encogido un poquito el corazón a todos por ver a alguien tan joven como tú, que luego en el terreno de juego.
Talk about you getting emotional, but you've won the heart of everyone, a young guy like you. Thinking about everything that you've lived through and being here with your family. Yeah, the truth is, being here with my parents there, everything that's happened to us, everything we've had to go through to be here, the sacrifice we've had to make, to be able to achieve this, to end up here playing for Barca. This is such a great emotion for them, very happy, and everything we had to go through is worth it because we're here.
Sobre todo que no se ha formado en la Masía, viene al Barça, si viene para el primer equipo, pues ya acostumbra a tener también la firma aquí en el Camp Nou. Claro, tú viniste para el Barça, Ronald, viniste para el Barça.
Coming up through the Masía, not signing directly through the first team, signed for Barca B. Well, that's always there. You've always got a dream in that, think about what you can achieve. But we always knew moving up to the first team would be very difficult. Achieving that is very happy for us. I'm so proud to be here, part of the first team with a lot of matches. The contract renewal for me is so important.
El primer equipo en esta posición de central, Ronald. Siempre se dice, y es verdad, es difícil llegar, pero también complicado mantenerse. Y tú, aunque sea tu segundo año,
get there and stay there.
Sí, eso es verdad.
This is very true. Getting there and staying there is very difficult, especially in a team like Barca.
Pero nada, con mucho trabajo, sacrificio.
There's a lot of hard work and sacrifice.
Se puede lograr y
you can achieve that.
Es fruto de todo eso.
And that's the fruit of all that work.
Hasta ahora, Ronald. ¿Con qué
For everything you've lived through so far, Ronald, what will stay with you?
Bueno, yo creo que lo más importante de que esto es un broche de oro, es lo más
important thing is the golden badge that I wear. Being here, knowing I'm going to be here longer, signing a contract with Barca, not just financially, which is important, but being able to say that they can count on me, that I'm going to be here for many more years, that's so important for me. If you had to choose a goal, the first goal you scored, the empty stadiums, I remember, would you choose a special one? He says, well, the one against Madrid. It's very important goal in a Clásico. And 2-0 was also very important. It's so important for us to get that one. But everything that you play in a Clásico, in the Liga, everything that is implicated in a Clásico, and everything you put on the table, scoring that goal is very happy. How has it felt these last few meses, not being able to confirm everything yet? He says, yeah, I was very sure about what I wanted. What was missing was announcing it out loud, but I was very clear that I wanted to stay here without making too much noise. So from the inside, we were all very calm. There were lots of meetings and we were able to achieve it. So it was everything quite easy. We knew the club's situation and we all wanted to do our bit. And so we were able to reach an agreement quickly. And so I'm very happy to be here. It's always happy. I never thought about going. He's asking about how important it is for having a coach like Xavi. Everything that's come with you, was it important to taking that decision? He says, well, Xavi is very important. He's always talking to me about many things. And that's so important at this moment. Talking with Bussy as well, and others, also with Luis. I'm still in contact with Luis. And I speak with them as people, and that's important for me, but when getting more opinions for me is something that's good to have. And so being able to feel like one more in the team with my teammates, being part of that, also with the technical staff, Duarte, Pujol, and I'm just very happy to be able to achieve this. Talk about teammates that have gone like Luis, or teammates that arrived like Danny, who just arrived a short while ago. He says, yeah, it's great having him at my side, drinking mate, killing time together. It's something that's very important for a lot, not just me, a lot of the young players that are here, and having a word from him with all the experience he's got. What have you changed since you arrived here at Barca? I've changed a lot in my footballing ways. I came from a team where the game style was completely different. I had to adapt to the one Barca. I think Barca's got a style that's different to all the teams in Europe. Playing in Barca is nothing easy. And I learned a lot about the style, also the technical way of playing, position on the pitch, being 60 meters in, running 50 meters back, defending really high. I think that was something that's very important to learn. And also I think I've matured since I arrived in Barcelona, living alone, far away from my family. That makes you grow up a little bit, having to face these things in life. And that was very important to me. What you take with you? The first year was just consolidation, the second year going up into the first team. At first, when I got here, they had that group of that generation that had been together for 7 or 8 years, that had been winning practically everything. They had everything, it was a closed group. But with my way of being, I got involved quickly, became part of the team. There's so much respect for them, showing what I can do on the pitch, that they can rely on me. That was something important. And I think the final step was becoming the basic of everything. Also getting on well with the coach and their staff, that was something important for me. And they showed me things and I kept training with them and tried to learn as much as I could. All the people that take part from La Masia, Barça B, that was all very important to me. On the 6th of October 2019, you made your debut with the first team, you got sent off. But I remember after the match, you said apart from getting sent off, which was painful, you've got good memories of that day. Is that still true? He says, yeah. It's even the red card. It's a very happy day, being here with Barcelona. From 1 year before in Barça B, I was so happy. Even the sending off, that didn't influence me and knock the happiness that I had to debut with the team. So that season with the debut, then there was the pandemic. Was that something with getting into the playoffs? You weren't in the first team, but you wanted to help the team. Did you identify with your teammates despite not being fully in the first team? He says, yeah, I think I've been the whole time with them. We fought a lot to get into the playoffs. I was out of the first team. But I said to the coach that I wanted to be with them and help them, helping them achieve the objectives. And I wanted to go and I wanted to help. And there wasn't a lot left for me to go up in the end, but I've got a lot of things that I remember from this team, this group. We'll keep fighting. So I want to ask you about last season. It wasn't an easy season, but you consolidated your spot in the first team. How did you feel when you confirmed that you've entered into the first team? Did you think it was a definitive season because you didn't have the contract, but you were there in the first team? So yeah, the last season was a bit difficult for everyone. But I was happy to get the opportunity to be one more in the first team. I was very happy to that. So it wasn't the best year, but I stayed with that moment that was so important, and that was a message to me that things were going well. Also, it was a moment to learn and to keep moving forward. And that helped me a lot this season. I feel a bit more mature. I think every season will be more like that. And then I learned that when things don't work out, you need to take them as lessons.
Muy cerquita de donde estamos ahora, estuvimos hablando con quién es ahora tu entrenador, con Xavi Hernández, y en la primera entrevista nos dijo, yo sobre
spoken a bit about Xavi, who said in one of his early interviews, he's got this clear game style, and he said just a few weeks back how happy he was with you. How was it with him coming into the team, learning his concepts, the triangles, the third person? How easy was it for you to get familiar with those concepts? The truth is that since Xavi arrived, I learned a lot. I think also the last few years we had lost a little bit the style, the way of playing that Xavi wanted to do, that makes Barca what it is. We'd lost that a little bit, and so being able to review that all again. I went past really quickly. I started playing 16-17, went to the capital, and then I came here. Obviously, the people that are here that have been playing since they're 8 years old. But with hard work, always watching videos, always analyzing, I was able to achieve it, and I'm going to keep getting better.
A pesar de que ya estás jugando muchos minutos y que sabes también cuáles son algunas de tus
playing a lot of
seguramente también
minutes.
se habla bien de ti, que Xavi piensa así, esa humildad de decir, tengo que aprender esto, tengo que mirar.
But you've also got that humility to say, I need to learn this, I need to watch these videos. I know I need to keep working. You seem really clear you need to keep working hard to improve. He says, yeah, I'm still young. There's a lot still to learn and to improve. I'm very happy that you can show me these things, that we can analyze these things and see what I did badly and work harder for the team, see if we can keep improving, not just me, but all of the team. We all do this and keep learning more, and I'm sure that next season will be a very nice season.
De la salida de balón, lo digo porque es una de las cosas en las que seguramente más has progresado, pero en la que siempre en un central del Barça se le pide, aunque haya habido muchos jugadores.
Distribution of the ball is something you've been working hard. It's something that is always asked of the centre backs here. It's just something that you keep insisting that you need to improve on. Yeah, I think so. It's something very important. This way of playing in Barca, you need to keep moving, keep. It's something that they ask of you here. It's very difficult to play in Barcelona. It's easier to play in other teams. And in Barca, you need to take this responsibility to distribute the ball, to all these things. I'm very happy because I'm learning a lot. You can see that I'm growing. You can look at my stats. It sees that I'm doing things well. And you can see that there's still room to improve. That's important. If there's no room to improve, you have problems, but honestly, I'm very happy. In the match in the Bernabeu, you had to play on the wing. Serginho, Oscar available. You went out quite calm that day that you could play well. Yeah, I was calm. I knew it was an important match. But I was very clear about what I had to do. I know that in that match specifically, I had to go out and I had to go and try and score goals. And I had to focus on doing that in the best way possible. And then in attack, be support. And that was the most important thing. I think we did it well.
Lo digo porque hay otra cosa que es el juego aéreo. Yo qué quieres que te diga, cuando te veo saltar ahí, aunque seas tan...
When you're playing in the air, your aerial attack, you jump so high and you're never afraid to jump high and clash. So I like that a little bit. Bit of a clash in the air. I think that's something that's very important to winning in the air, both in attack and defense. It helps us a lot. It's something important to the team, and so I'm happy.
Te quiero preguntar un poquito por ti. Tú lo has dicho. Tú
I want to ask you a bit about yourself. You started playing football a little bit late. Did you always want to be a football player? Was you this normal kid that it was the dream? Or yeah. Since I was a tiny kid, I had it really clear. I remember this moment in school, and they asked you, and you say, "Oh no, I want to be a football player." I didn't know what to choose. I always had that dream that being a football player. And that's a great deal of pride that I was able to do it and I was able to here in Barcelona.
Ha sido la persona que marca un poquito también en la vida y en
So he says you're one of these people that helps people with their character both in life and in football. He says, yeah, I've always been this way. It's something that just comes out. It's natural to me. I don't want to have bad feelings. And I'm there helping, shouting with my teammates, asking if they need anything, I help them with something. And I'm very happy. Who was one of the people that helped you most? Your family? Yeah, my family. Because you started being a professional in Uruguay. He says, yeah, well, that was very important. My dad always came with me, told me off when I was playing at home. He's always calling me, even though he lives far away. He's calling every day. There's not many days he doesn't call me. Also, someone like Ramon Planes is very important to me. Since I got here, he supported me. At the start, when I was trying to learn a different style, it was difficult, and he helped me. He says, "You've only just got here, you've only just moved to the first team, you're doing well." And it was him that supported me all through this, and I'm very grateful to him, as well as the technical staff, who helped me so much, and Luis as well. Luis was very important, especially when I moved up to the first team, because I was like, "We're here now, what do I do?" And he says, "Well, no." He made me feel part of it, and that was very important in my growth. Yes, have you always been a centre-back? He says, in the area you go well as well. He says, "No, I've also played a forward." He says, "Well, my idols were forwards, Ronaldinho, for example." This is a thing in football is, I'm here in Barcelona, whether I'm a forward or defender. I'm very happy. I'm very happy to be here.
¿Cómo se toma? Porque ya sabemos también del carácter charrúa, de lo importante que es ahí en el horizonte un mundial, que me imagino que también te hace ilusión poder participar. Además, Uruguay, que es una tierra de
You're here in this great club at world level, also in Uruguay, one of these great teams with great players. Is that something that gives you an extra push, that Uruguay sees you in this position? Yeah, I'm very happy to be able to play in the national team. That's always a dream from being a kid as well. To represent your country, and a sport that you have a massive passion for, the sport of my country. And I have that responsibility that brings with it, just like being here. There's a lot of references from that position. But I'm very happy to be in the national team, to play under this captain. I've learned a lot from him, and I'm very happy. So we're here chatting away as if we've got all afternoon. So what's your message for the fans? We've heard you before speaking, but what's the message that you want to transmit to your fans, knowing the club, the position we're in? You said, "I wanted to stay here, I know my priorities." What's your message? I think if they keep dreaming, keeping excited for this team. There are young players. There's a lot of talent. And the truth is that we're going through a moment of change, of transition, recuperating the Barca style. But there's a good basis here. There are players, there are a team where we can dream. I think this year had a first bad half this season. There are a lot of things that we've done well. We won the Clásico in La Liga. This is Barcelona that we all know, and the club and the players. We love that. We can't reach the objective of winning titles, but we will win titles. Barca will always win titles, and I'm convinced that next year will be different with the young players who are going to give us a lot more in the 30-40 matches. They'll keep learning, and it's going to be a great year. I've got a lot of faith. You talk like you've been here always, Ronald. Many congratulations, lots of luck and lots of success. Thank you very much.
The words there of the central defender, Ronald Araujo, as he went through his entire trajectory. Football Club Barcelona, talking about the beginnings with the B team, over making his debut with the first team as well as talking about the negotiation process. How, in fact, for him, it was a very easy decision. Only 2 meetings were needed, while the rest of us from the outside had to suffer a little bit longer before it finally was made official. But here we are on this joyous day where Ronald Araujo has extended his contract with Football Club Barcelona until 2026, Robert.
That for me is the highlight. It was all about staying here. There was never any doubt in his mind. He wanted to stay here. So, I mean, it was just a question of time, and a positive message, of course, by Ronald Araujo, saying that we have a solid base towards the future. The future is very bright here at Can Barça with all of these, all this young pack of players that will no doubt give us plenty to talk about in the future.
That's right. We hope you enjoyed that extensive interview. And before we bid farewell, Robert, one last question for you. We heard about his favorite moment until now as a Barça player. Do you have one standout moment?
Well, he said it was today.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I'm going to have to go with the goal at the Bernabeu. Goal at the Bernabeu.
Okay.
It doesn't get any sweeter.
Exactly. And of course, we hope that there'll be many, many more indeed. Well, that is it from us right here live from the Camp Nou. Again, we hope you enjoyed this broadcast. We hope that you enjoyed that extensive interview as well with that Barça central defender as we have locked him in for many years to come. We bid you farewell and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.